Yeah, so whenever I talk about what is happening in terms of quality of construction of these roads, you have government supporters in the comment section ranting about Granger this and Burnham that, and what did Burnham do and what did Granger do, which is completely beside the point. This does not condone, this is no excuse for spending billions of taxpayers' dollars to build very poor infrastructure. And actually, billions are being spent. So recently, I posted a snapshot, a summary of the fourth quarter report of the Natural Resource Fund from the Bank of Guyana. Remember, the Bank of Guyana keeps track of the oil earnings in the Natural Resource Fund, which is our sovereign wealth fund. This is all of the sales and the royalties from oil are deposited in a Federal Reserve Bank account in New York. And on a quarterly basis, that report tells you the inflows, how much money was put into the account in the last 3 months, how much was withdrawn from the account in the last 3 months, how much interest was earned, how much of it was royalty, and so on, how much of it was from profits, the sale of oil, profit oil. And what that report has shown over the last year from 2024 is that the government of Guyana spent $1.5 billion, 1.5 billion US dollars from that fund, from the Sovereign Wealth Fund. I remember when this culvert did not exist, we actually looked at this culvert from the point it was created. It's another plane rising up from Ogo. It's another Skyvan leaving Ogle Airport. Yes. So I remember when this culvert was being built. If you go back a year or two ago, you'll find from in the archives this culvert being built. I remember jumping over it, but it was just a box of concrete on the ground, and we've seen it at various stages. So now it is completed, and there's water flowing through it, underneath it, and now there's a road over it, and that road connects to the East Coast Road. So the point I was making is that the government has spent 1.5 billion US dollars from the Sovereign Wealth Fund. And I presume that some of that money was spent on road construction. However, the money to build this road was a loan from the Indian government. So we know that this is not where the Sovereign Wealth Fund money was spent. This is actually money from a loan by the Indian government. And that loan came with the terms that the contractors to build the road must be Indian uh, contractors, and that is exactly what is happening. This road is being built by Indian contractors, and they are Indian nationals who are working on the ground here. They've completed the connection to Ogles Airport. It's not yet open. You can see the entrance to Ogle Airport and the various exit ramps. They're also going to connect this road to another access road, and at this point you can see it goes all the way to the East Coast from this point. Now straight ahead, that is the AC Marriott Hotel. AC Marriott Hotel, they have actually built a fence around the hotel since last time you were here. So what you can see has happened is that they've built a fence around the hotel property. That's what we can see in the foreground here. And they've built, it's not yet painted, but they've actually taken down the construction fence. Remember, fact that we couldn't see beyond this fence in the past is because they actually had a um, construction fence that was opaque. So that is what is different. There's also this building has also been completed, well, closer to completion. Again, I don't know if this is a commercial building or a residential building, but it is also being completed around the same time as the AC Marriott. And this access road is now close to traffic, I guess, for completion, but it's also a lot further along, including the median, further along than it was the last time we were here. We're just going to take a closer look at the AC Marriott to see what they're doing on the property, whether they're putting in amenities like a swimming pool, tennis courts, and stuff like that. They actually have enough space to do that, but maybe they're just putting in a parking lot. I think maybe they're building a parking lot and a driveway to the hotel, which is probably going to be, the entrance is probably going to be somewhere around here. And so they're gonna put in a drive and a parking lot. This is what is happening here at the AC Marriott. Seem to have done significant amount of prep work. The fence is complete. They must have built that fence on the inside of that construction fence that was opaque. So that when they took down the construction fence, this external fence is already built. But this is what that looks like. And of course, straight ahead, that is the white building in the distance. That's the new maternity hospital, New Ogle Maternity Hospital. Also seems to be close to completion. Yes, what they're building here looks like a parking lot. Looks as if these guys are laying out a parking lot for the AC Marriott Hotel. And these guys are laying out a parking lot. The exterior work on the hotel seems to be completed. So they seem to have completed exterior. Although none of the painting has been done yet, you can see some staircases on the inside of the glass wall. And I assume this side of the hotel would be the back, the rear end, facing the highway, because there are hardly any windows. Well, what we're looking at in this end is probably the physical plant. If they have a convention center or dining hall, might be also in this part of the property. And the kitchen and bathrooms for the lobby area would also be in this section. You can see they're already putting on the hangers for the exterior facade. They're probably going to hang tiles off of those vertical metal bars. And they started to add colored tiles, it seems, to the lobby area. I assume that this section that we're looking at is going to become the lobby area for the new hotel, new AC Marriott Hotel. So this is what the hotel looks like now. It now has some color. They've actually laid tiles. They've laid tiles over this is the east facing surface. All right, they've laid some tiles along it, east facing surface of the hotel. And those tiles are a very dark gray charcoal or black. They started reading as black in this light, but there's a charcoal and light gray, very dark gray and light gray. And the tiles in front have a kind of uh, clay color, the color of clay. So those are clay tiles, I assume, or the color of clay, kind of orangish, pale orange color. And I guess this is the physical plant. You can see some tanks there. These are these high pressure tanks for water supply, I suppose, to give you pressurized water in the building. And of course, these are balconies. You can see most of the rooms, if we are looking at the rooms, most of the rooms have balconies. And those are half balconies at the eastern side of the building. There's a fence here, so I don't know if there's going to be an entrance from this highway. It doesn't seem as if they're going to actually have an entrance from this highway. In fact, in the beginning, I thought they were going to put in an entrance for you to get onto the property from the highway, but I don't think that's going to happen now. But we're actually walking on the